Hello, everyone. My name is Shirley Korman, and I am a community lead at Symphony Solutions. And I am pleased to host today's She Talks event. The She community is delighted to welcome you to another exciting edition of She Talks. This time, we focus on an essential aspect of our life, financial security. You know, as summer begins, it brings us new beginnings and the projects in ideas, inspirations, and we think it's a perfect season to refresh our financial strategies and embrace smarter financial habits. So, welcome to our online event, Building a Financially Secure Future, where we will dive into investments, savings, and wealth management. Today, we are thrilled to discuss crucial topics that can empower us to manage our finances with confidence and grace. Financial security is not just about earning more money, but making wiser decisions with the resources we already have. Our event tonight features insights from two exceptional experts, Konstantin Komarov and Juan Jose Torres Zamora. Hello, guys. I am very pleased to have your company today on our event.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sherry, for the absolutely great intro for all of us. Thank you. Nice to see you.
For our listeners, it's not all, but before I start and we'll give some more information about you guys, I want to make a short teaser, and I bet there will be many interesting stories and insights from you guys. So now let's get to know our guest a little bit more. Konstantin Komarov, Head of Corporate Systems at Symphony Solutions, brings extensive experience in corporate finance and strategic investments. Konstantin will share his insights on effective wealth management and smart financial planning. Juan Jose Torres Zamora, Lead Test Automation Engineer at Symphony Solutions, is also a personal finance enthusiast. He will discuss practical budgeting tips, investment strategies, and how technology can enhance financial planning. I know, guys, you are waiting to start the discussion. So let me bring up what we have planned for you to have on our event. So what you should wait within the next hour. So during panel discussion, you will learn about strategies and experiences of Konstantin and Juan in achieving financial security. Trust me, it will be interesting. Then we will open the floor to your questions in a live Q&A session. And finally, we will summarize the key takeaways and discuss our future plans. I think it sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's not waste any moment time and let's go straight ahead to our questions and insights our experts are going to share today with us. So for the very first question, I would like to ask you guys, what daily habits or changes have helped you the most financially, and how can others adopt them?
So I think I can start first for the first question, if Juan don't have any additional comments related to my first stage on this event. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you. I'm really happy to be there and to be on the stage today during our, I hope, useful session for everyone, because summertime, it's the best period of time to cover this topic. Why? Because vacation will be and we should to save some part of our money for vacations, for season, etc. So I think
definitely, so that we can enjoy it, and not have stress out of it.
Absolutely beautiful young lady can share all habits and some needs to buy something, to travel, etc. So we have to cover and to save this money for this point. So yeah, it's about first question about some habits I can share personally, because I'm working, as Shirley mentioned, more than 20 years in IT and finance area, because I have two educations, higher educations. One it's related to technical point, and second it's for finance. And for example, on my real life, in my real experience, I try to use budgeting. anytime, every time. So for example, I use a budgeting for the plan to make some forecast for the upcoming months, and I try to prognose and to clarify a list of expenses, the most critical expenses for me and for my family for the upcoming months, and to store it in some tool, because I'm using tool according to my title and my position. Yeah, so I'm using a lot of optimization in my hand, and in my specific tool I store these expenses and the list of expenses, the quantity of expenses for the upcoming months, and try to keep this balance with the budgeting point. So in my real experience, I use weekly closing of the budgeting. So after a week will come, I close the budget, compare my forecast and my real life with that, and make some correction if it's needed, yeah, in my plan and etc., according to my expenses and my current budget situation. So budgeting, it's like main rule for myself to keep my finance health good, and my family also. And just to share with you my real experience in my life. So
Cool. And how long does it take for you to, you know, to have this habit on your daily
I
basis?
started,
So
I
I don't think
started
it was just like from the very first day.
Yeah, thank you. I started it, I think, immediately after I married. So with my wife, we decided to keep our budget and balance family budget in one hand and in one tool. So yeah, immediately after, it was more than 10 years ago, I started this point on the regular basis.
That's cool that it was your, common decision. I think you are like partners in crime in budgeting as well.
Yeah,
That's cool.
thanks. Thanks.
Like a kind of support. Juan, and what about you?
Okay, so I think it's really interesting to compare as well, not just, our decisions on how to track our money, but also how the environment can affect that. For example, I saw a lot of similes and similarities between what Constantine just told us regarding his daily or his weekly control of how much things are being spent and things like that, where you have an economy where it's easy to foresee what's coming up on the following month, or throughout at least at the end of the year. You kind of have an idea, or like, okay, how much money am I going to be able to save by the end of the year or by 6 months? You have some sort of vision in the future of, like certain plans that you can make with your currency. And for me, that applied a lot when I used to live in the United States. That's exactly the way I used to do it. I used to have an application called, which it was very similar to like an Excel, right? So you would enter every time you would spend some money, you would enter it in there and you would classify it like, was it food? Was it entertainment? Was it clothes? Was it transportation? And then at the end of the month, you will know exactly, because I manage a lot of my finances on percentages instead of numbers of amounts of money. So for me, like I try to have percentages that make sense. So that means that a lot of my money is going to maybe fast food restaurants, right? Or maybe to entertainment. And then you start to also see not just how these decisions impact you financially, but also, your daily habits. You start to realize, oh, wait, maybe I'm going to McDonald's too often, or oh, I stopped paying for the gym, but I keep buying new games on my computer. I don't know, things like that. That's the type of thing I would notice when I used to be in New York when I was 20 years old, right? So those were the type of financial decision I had to make. But living here in Argentina and having a family has really changed my view, and it became very tiring because I tried to have like an expense tracker, right? And understanding how much money I need for each month in order to buy the whole groceries. But every month the amount is different. Every week the amount is different, and every day it changes. So it makes it really hard for us to be able to plan ahead in the future months if there's no stability. So that's why I wanted to also mention that, you know, like our environment really makes a big, plays a big role. So if someone watching this is having, maybe it's living in a place with high inflation, like we are here in Argentina, then for them, it might be like, oh man, I'm so bad at this because I never keep track of anything. But it's also really hard to do so because there's nothing guaranteed between now and the future, right? So for me, in my ecosystem, in my environment, what I do the most is whenever I find a good price on something, I buy in big quantities. So if things like, I don't know, like toilet paper or like napkins, things that don't go bad, if I see an offer, I get a lot of them in order to have enough for maybe the next 3 or 4 months. And because of the inflation, it eventually will go up, right? That
Yeah.
price will change. That's the only thing that is for sure in the future, that the price will go up for everything.
Yeah, that's smart. I agree with you on this.
Yeah.
I also sometimes I think about, okay, it you know, in Ukraine we say that it does not ask you to feed it, it will just lie here and somehow it will come around that you will have like some additional money because you have bought it early and now
Exactly.
and it became more expensive.
True. So
You know,
yes, that's a little bit of my daily habits.
that's cool. But you know, speaking, you both guys mentioned about this budgeting, yes, about some apps, and somehow I have tried to do it. Really, honestly, I tried, but I really want to ask you about a tip how to not to stop doing it, because you know sometimes putting it all in the table, writing it all down, it's time consuming, it's getting boring, yes, and feel kind of a pressure, and how to keep this track, how to not like go from this pathway, how to still counting, budgeting, yes, how what tips, maybe some or tricks did you use to start and like to implement this habit on your daily basis?
Right. Well, for me, at least, I think that the most important part is creating a goal, right? Like it's easier to save for an intended purpose. For example, I need this amount of money to go on a vacation, or I need this amount of money in order to retire. So every time that you write something down, you know that that goal is getting closer and closer by the penny, right? By each penny that we save and that we can put towards, you know, that goal and that idea that we have in our mind.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely agree with Juan. So on my side, on my perspective, like two ways, to help you with this discipline point. First, it's shared by Juan. It's like to make some clear goals. So for example, if you want to buy some new sport car or something like that, so you should be disciplined with your expenses to save your money and to achieve your goal in the future. And second way, and I think it's more related to family. So if you have kids, not more than one, and some partner in your family, so you should be carefully with some finance, because your expenses will grow according to growing of your family. So this also like a negative point will discipline you to make some tool and to make some discipline and tracking of your expenses, because in some point it can be some cash problem for your family to spend some really important expenses for some period of time if you will not manage it using some behavior or some tool or some calculation point. So like it's on my side.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for sharing these points and tips. You know, now I analyzing my this time I was trying to do it. Maybe just my interest to see about my budget and spends during the months was not enough motivation to keep this track going. So next time I will definitely set a more concrete goal to not to track this and keep going, not just like, you know, keep it off. Guys, we have started the topic about tips and tricks, and now I am very curious to know what's your favorite money saving tip that has made a big difference for you. What do you think? Juan, maybe you can start.
Okay, sure, I can start this one. So for me, I would say that I used to have a roundup system, right? So whenever I would spend, I don't know, something that was $1.50, I would round it up to $2 and send those 50 cents to a different account where, it's just saving change so that every time I look into my expenses, they were all round numbers. Sometimes it might be like 50 cents, it might be 20 cents, it might be maybe if it's $59, I will send $1 to my other account because you don't feel the same impact, right? Spending $1 more on an item that costs 59 than actually taking maybe $20 off your paycheck to put it away, right? So for me, that was the easiest way to actually not feel that I am losing the ability to use that money at the beginning of the month, but rather spreading it throughout the rest of the month. So that's one of the things I used to do back in the day, and that actually made a big difference for me during the time that I did do it. I don't do it anymore because for like here we don't usually use cents anymore. It's just the straight whole numbers now. So when I was saving for a trip to come to Argentina, I actually paid 25% of my trip because with that technique, it actually made a big difference for me.
That's cool. Yeah, like when we're talking about this 20 cents or 50 cents, and now
It's
when it
easy.
came out in the spending this money for a trip to Argentina, I think it was a pretty big amount, I would say. It's like not
Yeah.
$100 you saved on. So small steps with the small steps to big goal. That's cool.
Exactly. It's easier to compromise that way.
That's cool. And I'm just wondering, before Konstantin will share some tips with us, if you are like buying something with a cash, will you like leave this 20 cents or 50 cents and then what? You have some kind of a jar or?
Yeah, those big jugs of water that you can buy, like big bottles of water that you can put on top of the thing and you
Yeah.
can serve yourself at any time. So I would use one of those, right? So because it's very big. So, every time I had spare change in my pockets, if I get home, I just put it in that bin and forget about it. And I painted it black so that I couldn't see inside of it because when you see, it's like, oh, come on, go up, go up. But if you don't know, and eventually the time comes, you want to move it and it's very heavy, and then you open it and
And then
it's a
you
lot
went
more
to
fun
the
to,
bank.
yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that is really cool.
Cool. What about you, Kostya? I am very curious now.
Yeah, absolutely agree with Juan. It works, really, it works like a method. So on my side, just to share with you on my perspective, so I try to use some principle that's really well described by Robert Kiyosaki in his book. As you know, it's a really famous book, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So the principle is pay yourself first. So I try to use these principles every time when I have some income. I try to pay myself first. So the goal can be different. I can invest my money, I can save my money for the new car, for the new flat, for, I don't know, for something. But the principle, pay yourself first works absolutely well. So after you will pay some quantity of money for yourself, you can make some expenses, budget, and etc. for that coming months. So, but this money will be saved absolutely. And just to, I don't know, some tip and trick on my side to keep this part of money in some hard place or some to change this from the local currency for the US dollars or something like that. Because if you have this money, for example, on the credit card, on the bank card, or in cash point in your local currency in your wallet, so it's absolutely expected that you will spend this money on the unplanned buys or something like that, emotional shopping. I know that Shirley knows about this point. So I try to book this money, pay myself first, and after to change the type of this like income for the some hard spending point, like some currency, some external currency, or some additional bank account or something like that. So it was on my side to save and to keep this money on the separate place and have access in some absolutely critical urgency point in this part of my money. So like it tips.
That's cool. You know, you mentioned that you have read about this technique in a book, and earlier I did not get it. Like how, okay, I was reading something, but how to, it's not always work that you will 100% implement it in your life. But now when I get older, I know what you're talking about. Like sometimes I'm just writing down how it works and starting to use it. And then, okay, it works. But yeah, as we have mentioned and talk about it, we need a goal and we need a motivation. So yeah, so everything that is written in book can definitely be very effective. So pay attention to it.
Yeah, you can try.
Yeah, I bet our audience will take it into account as well. Okay, going now to some more corporate related question. I think it's very interesting, and maybe you can guys tell us more about how does Symphony Solutions support its employees in achieving financial security and managing their wealth?
It's an interesting question. I think I can start first because according to my title,
Yeah,
like
you
a
are
corporate
very
system head.
topic. I bet you have insights. So
All questions related to corporate points should be covered by me first. So yep. So I think it's on my side, my perspective. Our company is absolutely great in this point. So for example, I can share real examples. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I was personally also some great events that achieved by finance department related to investments. So there are guys shared some really useful things related to investments, related to interactive brokers, ETFs, stocks, bonds, etc. A lot of things, interesting things that really can be useful in our life. So our internal Symphony solution community and some communication with the knowledge sharing really works absolutely great as expected, because I together with team started this initiative some 2 years ago, something like some period of time ago, and really it works absolutely well. So a lot of our great colleagues know a lot of things, and these things can be shared and transferred for everyone. So this point is really appreciated on my side. And second, I want to share that we have also like corporate program, a la carte benefit program. It's also great because it's covers expenses with the different areas. So for example, you can buy and you use your personal early pay or early budget for buying some subscriptions, some tools, some goods, etc. So part of this money can be used with some specific courses on Udemy, or I don't know, some external courses to cover it and to know and to receive some knowledge according to finance, etc. So really, I appreciate supporting of company in this case. So it's just an example on my side.
Thank you. Okay, some examples from and insights from Kostya. What about you, Juan? What would you add?
Well, yeah, so for me, I think I mean the part that makes the most impact in order for me to be able to reach financial security is you know, from Symphony, is the fact that I get to get paid in a currency that it's more stable than my local currency. I think that's number one. That's a big factor because you know, you feel like you're away from the situations of, you know, whatever may happen to our local currency, because still we have, you know, our budget saved on maybe euros or dollars or whatever other currency, which doesn't fluctuate as much as our local currency here regarding the price itself. And besides that, there's so many activities, so many things that we can do in order to maybe make a few extra bucks here and there. I think that Symphony provides us not just the entertainment sometimes to be a part of an event, but they also reward you. And I've seen many instances where, you know, you can make an extra buck here and there, which actually makes a lot of difference. It might be like maybe $50, and maybe that's enough. Like here, that's enough to pay for a month of one of my kids' school, right? So, you know, like it depends on where you are and how you apply it. It makes a big difference. So I'm definitely, you know, that's something that I haven't seen a lot in many other places that I worked in, where this is like one of the policies that you guys, you know, put in place, and actually has made a real impact, at least for me as well, because I also participated in one of the AI related contests. Yeah. And so that money that I got there, actually I used it to buy a better desk, to get better equipment,
Yes,
because
yes, I can remember it. You shared the photos of it. That's cool.
Yes. So I'm very happy and grateful in that sense. I think, you know, being able to have your income in a stable currency in nowadays is very important, and we're very how do you say, lucky to be in this position.
That's cool. That's always a pleasure to hear. You know, I fully agree with you guys on this point, as I'm also a symphonian and appreciate it a lot. From my own perspective, you know, I also agree with Juan, and Costa will also agree with me, as we are, I'm located in Ukraine. Yes, we have also some difficulties, yes, due to the war, and of course, it affects, yes, the financial situation, and Symphony in display in this situation, yes, helps a lot, because we also receive, yes, income in a stable currency, and we have, you know, sometimes due to the unstable situation, you want to, okay, I will not buy it, you know, I will rather save this money. And then the Symphony, like you have birthday or it's your anniversary or something like this, and then, hey, like treat yourself, and then, okay, I will do it. But I also like that a Symphony wants to care also about our well-being, you know, because we can buy a gym reimbursement or some new desk for your workstation at home, or vacation. So, you know, it's not just like some financial support, but Symphony wants that you enjoy it as well. So I also really appreciate it, and I know what you are guys talking about. But, you know, we all already touched the topic about some difficult times, situations. Yes, and now I was wondering if you guys can share a time when you faced a financial difficulty and how you deal with it.
Okay, so I'll go first on this one. So I would say that I had I had one instance where, you know, I had gotten the company I was work for closed, and there was some, you know, like a whole month where I wasn't able to actually work. And then at the end of that month, I started working, but in order for me to get paid, I had to wait another month, right? So that's like 60 days without income. That was really hard because you know, my son was just born, so you know, you have a lot of things that you have to take care of. And at that time, I didn't earn enough in order for me to prevent, you know, this situation. So one of the things that I was very grateful for is that months prior, I had fixed my credit score, right? So I used to have low credit score. I got a good job, and the reason why I wasn't able to save is because I was, you know, getting up to date with my previous things that I had to pay for. So I did that for a whole year. I fixed my income and I fixed my credit score. And thanks to that, I was able to access to credit during those times where I needed it the most, right? So I was creating a good credit in order for me to be able to buy maybe a new house or a new car. But it ended up, being able to help me sort through those 2 months, which were otherwise would have been, I would have had to do something else or ask for some maybe private loans that they take more interest rates. So, it's always good to be able to have a good credit score, I think. And that's what I would suggest to anyone, because a lot of people join like IT or software related companies, and sometimes they don't come from an IT background. And we know that, in IT, maybe you can earn more than your regular jobs. So a lot of us come with debts from our previous experiences, right? And it might be tempting, especially if you're young, to just put those aside and enjoy the money that you're getting now every month and forget about, your debts. But really, the reality is we're part of a system. I don't care which country you're in. If your credit score is bad, you're not going to have a good time when you need it. So that is my advice to everyone who's having you know, is lucky enough to have some extra money. Just make sure that you're building your credit. It maybe sometimes you don't need credit, so it's good to take credit and be up to date, because that creates like a good financial relationship with your bank. And don't take this, like I'm telling you to do this. It's what I did, because I'm not in a place to give you guys exactly this type of advices.
Yes, from your own experience.
Exactly. This is what worked for me. Definitely, time changes, rates change all the time. If you find a good rate that you feel you're comfortable with, maybe you can take a small loan and pay it back in time. Maybe not even use the money, but it's good to build your credit in order to have these sort of like lifesavers in the future whenever you need them the most.
Agree with you on this point. Yeah, it's definitely a very valuable advice from your own experience. So whatever you guys like, just take it into account. As Juan mentioned, yeah, it does not mean you need to do it right now. It's just from Juan's experience, which can be maybe useful for you. So yeah,
Exactly.
I'm very curious what will Costi advise to us.
It's really interesting question. It's a difficult question for me. So yeah, I try to remember my bad finance time. Maybe it was after my university time when I was really young, and started my first or second job after my university time. And yes, if I back to that period of time, I think I studied to cook. It's like cheap and tricks. Why? Because in that period of time, I earned really little money on the first or second job on myself, and I tried to save money like all ways that I have and in my hand, and to save my money or some budget for some restaurants or some cafe point, I started to cook myself on my flat and to make some really typical activities by myself. So for example, to repair my flat, to repair my car in some cases, like easy way, etc. So I really saved a lot of money that period of time. It cost me some my time, my personal time, but in some cases it can be really useful and save you money if we're talking about some time, money, or something like that balance. So if you don't have some money, you can use your capacity, your time to fix or to do something or to save this money. So the main idea, I think, on my side, in this case, it's like save it money. It means earn it money. So if you like save some part of money or quantity of money, it looks like you earned it. So I think
Agree on that point.
my main idea.
I like to say it like, if you say money, you earn this money.
Yep.
Always when I use an opportunity to buy something cheaper, it's like earned.
Just to double check and double think.
Yeah, that's always a good point. Okay, guys, thank you for your very valuable tips and tricks and some sharing of your experience. As for me, I think that experience is very precious and valuable things, because theory is something else, and how you can apply it in life and it actually work, it's something completely different. And this count as more valuable advices, I would say, for sure. So thank you for sharing these insights with us. About the next question, nowadays we live in such world where technology are developing and forcing us to develop ourselves as well. Yes, we are surrounded with them. We now, since the beginning of the year, yes, AI has just like flow into our life. Yes, and now we cannot separate it from us. Yes, it has become our daily routine, not routine, but we are surrounded with it everywhere. And I'm very curious to know from you guys, as a financial enthusiast, how technology can help us manage professional finances, personal finances better. Yes, maybe some tools or reminder, or I don't know, like maybe you can share something besides the tables you were mentioning on the beginning of our conversation. Maybe something else I would like to know.
I can share my list first, what I'm using in my daily routine, as you mentioned, Shirley. So as I remember, we tried and managed some tools like a Home Money. Home Money is like a budget tracker, online budget tracker. So we are managing our budgeting and some expenses inside this tool. It looks absolutely great and useful because it can give you some real statistics according to your expenses, your budget, your finance balance, because you can mark there some income, outcome, etc. So looks like a simple Excel, but with some kind of dashboards, statistics, and some graphics there. But after I decided to, according to and using my real experience, absolutely a lot of experience in some different areas and domains and some optimization cases, I developed by myself some specific tool for myself, for my family. And for now, we are using it in our budgeting cases and some calculation and some saving of money. So for now, right, the current situation, we're using my personal developed tool for my family and
how
for
did
my
you
budget.
call it?
It's like a Komarov family budgeting tool.
I knew it. I was about to ask, is it Comoros family budget?
It's our finance advisor. Looks like that. It's like
So
on
IT. Okay, I know.
yeah, finance support or advisor or chatbot, magic chatbot or some helper. And
Okay, now I'm curious. Sorry to interrupt you, but you got me just very curious, And now I want to know, like, what kind of question does this chatbot answers? Like, how much money I can spend today? Like, how much money there are on my account still, or how
in
does
the free time, I'm working some additional functionality, so I connected some chatbot with some interface, but it's more about some testing point. It's not a useful case on my side in my tool. More relevant, it's like to store some expenses, to make some calculation, and to make some directly view of my expenses, of my income, etc. So this like a tool for the manual editing some additional point and plus some statistics that's related to my point of view about it. But chatbot, I connected it some time ago and tried to use this interface and chatbot approach, maybe to improve something in my tool. It's like my baby. In my free time, I try to improve something in this area. So this one, I'd like to share with you, it's like a really interesting case. And also I'm using in my real life some specific tools. It's tools for investors. It's more about some web-based tool like ETF.com, like Binance, because I'm practicing and managing some cryptocurrency point and cryptocurrency market. So Binance is like a real big market for the cryptocurrency area. Also, I'm using in my daily routine trading view just to understand and to see some trend of the market related to some stock and some bonds there to make some analysis, because yes, I mentioned before, I have some background in finance area, and also in my free time, I try to understand the real trends of the market and to play with that. It's like a real game on my side, but I'm playing it. Not the bets, but looks like a real statement and real investment on my side.
That's
So,
very cool.
like a major tools.
I was just amazed about the tool. That's very, very cool, Kostya.
Thanks. Thank you very much. So it's on my side.
Juan, now I'm curious how you will wonder us.
All right. So I don't really use much tools like I mentioned when it comes to like keeping track of my expenses. I sort of know what's coming next month and take care of the big expenses like rent and things like that. But I do use technology in order to help me create passive income, right? So one of the things that I've done is I found a way to try to monetize things that I feel interested in, right? So, for example, I really like technology, and I think I do an okay job at teaching. So I became a Udemy instructor about 4 years ago. And that was really helpful for me because in the beginning, when I created my course and I put it in Udemy, I had no expectations of people actually buying it. It was more than I needed to record myself talking about these things because I would understand them better, right? So I never had the idea of making money off of creating courses before. But people found them helpful and they started buying it. And soon, like the first month, I had like an extra $20, and then the next month I had $60, and then it went up to 100. So I said, well, maybe there's some potential here that I can, look into this because it could really make a big difference for me. And ever since then, I've been creating courses on Udemy and posting them there. It's just my regular everyday, every month income just has that extra bonus in there, and sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but that's also one of the things that maybe when you start getting older, you start feeling like you have to monetize everything that you do. Like if you like to do, I don't know, you like to make scarves or you like to knit or make clothes, then you start thinking, oh, how can I make money off of this? And also, try to not to let that take away the fun of doing the thing that you like to do, right? So for me, selling my courses, didn't take away the fun of me creating courses, because if I ever stopped enjoying it, then I would either stop selling them or stop creating them, right? But yeah, I think that would be my advice. Just try to monetize whatever it is that you do, as long as it doesn't take away the enjoyment of doing it.
Yes, I fully agree with you. And it was kind of also of inspiration, motivation speech from you, Juan, for those who hesitate to start something because you're afraid like someone will not like it. Just start.
Yeah.
On the other side, it can bring you joy. It can make you happy, and then you can also earn some additional money. So like only about on this point. So do not hesitate and feel free about it. I fully agree with your point. Sometimes like earlier, a few years ago, I also started like to propose like to help people with my hobbies, with fitness and nutrition. And now it's also bringing me additional money and I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Yes, so it's very cool. very valuable tip. So I agree with you on this point. And guys, like
Awesome.
really, Kostya, with your special app for your family, selling courses to Udemy, having fun and earning additional money, that's precious, I would say.
All is our hand, as I see.
Yes, your guys just awesome. You inspire me. For the last, it's like, I don't know, it was just go with the flow, but now with all your inspirational and motivational stories, yes, you definitely inspired not only me on this event today, but I'm always very curious to know what keeps you motivated to learn and grow financially, especially during uncertain times like we have currently in the world.
Well, I mean, the motivation is always trying to you either do it because of two reasons. You either want to have something or you want to run away from something, right? So you either make decisions because of saving decisions because you want to buy a new house, or you want to, you have a goal, or maybe you're trying to run away from being broke, right? Maybe, oh, I never want to be broke, so I make sure that I have this sort of like safe net around me and around my finances. So for me, what motivates me is I want to have a better lifestyle without having to how do you say? So I want to make sure that I earn enough to have the lifestyle that I want, instead of bringing my lifestyle down to the salary that I have, right? So
Beyond this point.
Yeah, so I think there's two ways of looking at it, right? You can say this is what I have, this is how I have to live, or you can say this is how I want to live. Okay, I need to make all of this in order to live that life. So for me, my motivation is being able to live that life, to just be able. I'm not talking about eccentric things, like I don't want to buy a boat, I don't want to buy a helicopter. But I do want to have like my own nice house, my nice car, make sure that my family is doing well. And if in the process I'm able to create some jobs for other people, I think that's my ultimate goal, to be able to help someone make more money, or help someone learn something new. That's also one of the motivations that I have for creating my courses, is that I can be that someone for someone else that I didn't have when I was learning, right? So if I can create opportunities for other people, that is my main focus and my main motivation to keep learning and to keep growing, and certainly to keep teaching. And uncertain times are, I believe, all the times ever since we are very young, right? Everything is uncertain because things can change from one day to the next. So you can never stay still. You have to always, keep looking at different ways of bringing income, or looking at different possibilities, not to just have all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Agree on this point, and also, about this motivating the other people. I personally know what you mean, because I also somehow I get motivated when someone gets motivated by something that I have done or something I have said. Somehow you cannot like see it, but when it reflects from another person, it's also like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so powerful. I help do that. It's so cool.
yeah, definitely. And what about you, Kostya?
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think that Juan mentioned absolutely all. It's really, I agree with absolutely all Juan words related to this topic. For myself, on myself, my family and my kids motivated me the most, because I want to give them some basis and some capital in the future, like a great education, great maybe some first part of capital for them to start with some own business or something like that in the future. So it's like a core motivator for me. But absolutely agree that everything related to your own life, like your lifestyle, your habits, your some feeling of life, your activities, your goods, everything related to yourself, it's really motivator for you to keep this like balance in your life, to keep this way of your life, and to make it possible for yourself. And also just like a really simple idea, if you do nothing, you will receive nothing. So it should be done, yeah, and you should done and make some additionally every time in your life, because life is really changing point, and every time, especially today, nowadays, we have a lot of changes related to technologies, tech, related to absolutely all things every day, every time, I don't know, every minute of life. So we should be changeable in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And I would add to that, I think that it's important to shoot for the moon, you know, like if you want to do your goal, make sure your goal is very, very big, because the worst thing that can happen is you can get maybe 10% of that, but that is way more than if you just point to that 10%. So let's say you want to build a building, maybe you say, I want 3 floors. And well, the worst part is that I will have no floors. But if you say, I want 100 floors, and I reach 10% of that, that's 10 floors, right? You know, it's way more than just shooting low. Just shoot high and do your best.
definitely. I also like set your plank like higher and achieve more than set your plank like lower and achieve nothing. Like, you know, it's there's
Exactly.
always you need
Exactly.
always to compare something with the bigger, the higher, the better, then you will achieve more. But if you will like, you know, compare to the worst, then everything will be okay, and nothing will push you forward to try and keep going and keep trying something, because, okay,
Sure.
I'm alive, that's good, that's enough.
Yeah. I
Right.
have some eat, I have some glass of water, so it's okay for me
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, that's totally true. Agree on this point. And I would say it's like a great summarizing or conclusion of our panel discussion. And guys, thank you for answering the question, sharing your insight and stories. It was very useful and very cool, I would say. And now we are moving to the Q&A part of our event. I can already see a few questions in the chat, so keep them going, guys. We would love to hear from you. Share your own experiences and trips, how you are managing your finances to build a secure future, or some just daily, you know, habits that help you to save some money or keep your wealth management, yes, financial wealth in the right place. And now I will address some of our questions in the chat to our experts. So the first question is, what's your guilty pleasure purchase that you have never regret, no matter the cost?
That's a good one. You want to start, Kosin?
I think you can start first. I should think about it.
Juan, I saw that Juan, something just pop up in Juan's head. I want to know what was it.
Oh, well, for me, here's the thing, right? So I'm very compulsive. Whenever I want something, I do whatever I have to do in order to get it. So, um, I don't know. I mean, so here's what I would say. I make sure to, you know, I have kids, I have my family, but I also put myself first, in order to make sure that I don't lose, you know, my motivation. Okay, so like I can spend many hours of the day working in order to create a better life for me and my family. But if you keep putting yourself behind, eventually, you know, you will leave your health behind, you will leave your enjoyment behind. And if you are the motor of your family and you are not 100%, then you cannot give them 100%, right? So for me, I spoil myself, and I try to be kind to myself, understanding, because sometimes I play video games, like I buy the latest PlayStation, right? But I don't have enough time to play. And sometimes when you play, you feel guilty because you think, oh, I could be doing this to make money or doing this to make another course. So I think, it's good to spoil yourself and enjoy the things that maybe you weren't able to get when you were younger, or for whatever situation you didn't have the chance to do. So for me, I would say that my video games are just, my guilty pleasure, that I never have to, and I feel so good that I don't have to stop buying anything in order to get those things, right? It's not like I'm putting something behind. It's something extra that I'm able to afford. And that's also a motivator to just understanding that money is just not just security, but also enjoyment,
Yeah,
because you can
just
save all your
work
money and
really
never
to
enjoy
enjoy
it.
the life. Yes.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the whole point.
A great
Yep.
point. And it's very important not to do it vice versa, not to live in order to work.
Yeah. Yes.
Otherwise,
Exactly.
I absolutely agree with Juan, because on my side I have the same thing, or some Porsches in my hand, in my place. When I was young, it was my really dream to have in my flat Lego. It's big Lego a constructor. It's a pirate ship. Really expensive point, really expensive point. So nowadays I bought it.
Nice.
And made it together with my kids. So
Yeah,
I have created, so I bought it for myself and spent
of
my
course.
time together with my kids and use this like expensive point, expensive item in my daily routine to spend this time and to have my well-being very, very good and make some balance between my work and the private life together with my kids. So I
yeah.
use this good in my private point, but it was my dream.
Yeah, and summarizing, your speeches, guys, it's like really not to switch this mode from living for working, but working for living, because otherwise, okay, you can save all the money in the world, but you will not buy emotions, you will not buy memories. It's not an call for action to waste all your money, but just remember and keep it in mind. It's important. Yes.
Money is just an opportunity or a
Yes.
way to give more. So money it's not like a main topic to save, or I don't know, to eat it or something like that. So it's not a topic, but like a balance between your expenses and some saving point. It will give you some possibility or some additional possibility in the future. It's like just a main idea.
And that's a very valuable point. Guys, we have a few minutes left, and I have another interesting question for you. If you could give your younger self one piece of financial advice, what would it be and why?
I think we all know.
But let's make it as a summary of our today's She Talks event. I think it will be a great conclusion.
Yeah, go ahead, Consi.
Yeah, so I like a main conclusion of today's discussion, just an advice or maybe something like that for my personally past. So I like I want to say that the main idea is invest in yourself more. So if you will invest your knowledge, experience, and time, it's like or looks like your own capital to give us some profit. So if you invest in yourself, you can earn more and invest more. It looks like an economical loop or something like that. Yeah, it means like you will invest more, you will give more, and you can save more, you can spend more, etc., etc. So it's according to some investor way and in some economical point. So and also just an advice, me young, don't waste your time, because time is a really critical resource for everyone, and just to learn and try. If do nothing, nothing will come. Nothing else. It's like a conclusion.
What about you, Juan?
Well, I agree 100%, and I was gonna say the same thing because, like, I never had a chance of like saying, I don't know, like I came into $100,000 and I blew it. It's that never happened to me. But we never realize, right? Like when we're born, we're rich in time. We have so much time to use, and we don't. I think we don't value the time that we have as much as we should. We value other things. And yes, definitely, I would have told myself, you know, if I would meet myself younger, I would have told myself to start programming at a younger age. But you know, it's all hypothetical, and we can't go back to doing those type of things. But just know, you know, wherever you are, and you know, I don't. Doesn't matter what age you are, because nothing is as well. It's not like, okay, I'm 30 years old, I have another 40 years of life. That's no one's for certain with that, right? So, but definitely act like if you did had those 40 years, but enjoy your time now as if you didn't have enough time left. So yeah, definitely use your time wisely. Don't watch that many series, and and I don't know, watch out for your health too, so that you have more time. A better quality.
That's a good one, I would say, about the series as well. But you know, it brings joy as well. Just control it.
Yes.
Okay, we have on the last minute, I think it's a question to Costa, asking if you are thinking of creating an app to solve or help solving financial problems.
Yeah, I do. I did.
So
Some
I
app.
think it was a question if you want to bring your app for your family on a like commercial.
I will think it's a really great way that shared by Juan, just to use some old things and
To
your
monetize
experience in
your
to monetize your knowledge and your experience in the future. So maybe after my internal testing and every stage in there, maybe it will come like a commercial product. Who knows? We don't know. We can't make some directly forecast for the future. So I'll think about it. It's a good idea.
Well, think about it, you see? Good idea.
Thanks.
Thank you for this question. You know, now Costa have some ideas for the future monetizing.
Great, thanks. Maybe you will be my future investors. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, guys, an hour just flew away, and that's it for tonight. A big thank you, our fantastic speakers, our experts, our financial enthusiasts, Kostya and Juan, and all of you guys for joining in and participating in the chat. Follow us for more events with She Community and Symphony Solutions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and of course, share. Also follow us on social medias. Links are available in the description, so you will always know what's going on and have the latest insights delivered by your feed daily. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kostya. Thank you, Juan, once again, for sharing these valuable insights, stories, tips, and tricks. And let's continue to empower each other and build a financially secure future together. See you then on the next She Talk event.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
guys.
much. Thank you, Shirley, for management. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the space and